2008.
Gentlemen, Valentine's Day is just around the corner. Don't be that guy running to the store for flowers and a card on your way home. Hey, Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. We have great Valentine's gifts in store now, and if you spend $99, we'll throw in a free bouquet of a dozen roses. Give her what she really wants this year, and let us do the rest. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, your hometown jeweler since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island, online at sartorheyman.com.
What do you think of when you hear the chocolate season? Artisan chocolates? Of course, they have the best chocolates this side of the Atlantic. Friendly neighborhood coffee shop? Yup, they're that too. A nationally recognized top-tier brunch spot. Waffle weekends, baby. And the place to grab a gift for literally any occasion? Everybody loves chocolate. See for yourself at the Chocolate Season, 40th and Old Cheney, or order ahead online at thechocolateseason.com.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Wednesday, February 7th versus the Vegas Thrill at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Sandhills Global is hiring. With their fast-paced, growing culture, they have hundreds of new openings in sales, marketing, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Full-time roles offer a 4.5-day work week, along with flexible internships in most areas. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Find your fit today at www.sandhills.jobs.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Welcome to it on a beautiful, beautiful sunny Tuesday here in the 402. I'm Austin Norman, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, Stricky. What's good, my guy?
Stricky, I'm in the building. I left my coffee out there.
Oh.
Rico, hook your boy up, man. I need a pop.
Bring him that drink.
Yeah. Come on in. Yeah, I need a pop, man. I can't be out here. The mill, take care of your boy, man. Once again, the mill coffee is always on point. I need it. Water, coffee, banana. Thank you, my boy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I felt naked without a pause.
What's up, dog?
You stick,
So I mean,
no, that's the homeboy hookup. That's all that was. Nothing other than that. Just the homeboy hookup. That's what we do because we Thunderites.
You know what?
We take care of each other. You know what I'm saying? That's
Fair.
all it is.
Fair.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rico.
Something you wouldn't have done for me because you Kansas City Royals fans.
Because I'm on the board. You want me to do stuff? Get Rico on the board. Also, to that point, I am wearing my Bobby Witt Jr. jersey underneath my Royals pullover today. Still excited about that. Still doesn't really feel real. Still trying to wrap my brain around it. Which, to that point, not this week, but next week, hopefully, we hope to have the voice of the Royals, Jake Eisenberg, on the program. Jake just got married. I think it was last weekend. He's on his honeymoon in Argentina right now. So I bothered Jake. He said, yeah, not this week, bro. So we'll have Jake.
I would be too. I would be saying the same thing.
I'm calling you. I'm texting you and you're in Thailand all day, every day.
No.
Keeping you up. Yep. I need your thoughts, Tricky.
No. Listen, I didn't realize my number for 2 weeks. Far. Yeah, bro. It's going to be straight on Do Not Disturb. I might tap in one time, but it's such a time difference. It's freaking crazy. Like it's
what,
over. It's like
17?
almost 24 hours to get there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, I gotta go through Qatar, and then from Qatar it's another 6 hours, so it's like 16 hours or something to Qatar. First I gotta go from Dallas to Philly to Qatar to Phuket, Thailand. So it's a long flight.
Settle in.
What's crazy is the return.
Okay.
You lose a couple of days going.
Mm-hmm.
You gain 2 coming back.
Okay.
So just say it's the 8th.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I get back, it'll be like I'll be repeating the day over again.
That's wild.
That's wild to think about, right?
So you like just basically go in reverse?
Yeah,
back
basically.
to Qatar to Philly to
something
Dallas.
like that.
Yeah.
So tell me though, like here's the crazy. I watched this movie and it was on Netflix, and it was like Ride in the Night or Fly into the Night, and it was like if the sun came up and you were exposed to the sun, you automatically fell over or keeled over dead. It was like some virus or something that was in the air that it was activated by the sun. So every time the sun came up, but there was somebody at NATO, it's crazy shoot. There was somebody at NATO who had heard it through like one of those internal meetings or something like that. And so he stole a plane and he hijacked the plane and was like, just keep flying into the dark. So they had to literally keep flying, landing, trying to refuel and shoot off into the dark until, they survived. Then they ended up in a bunker where there was no sun that could get to them. And
I was going to ask if staying inside was the cheat code.
Yeah, if you were able to find something where you could literally do that, that's the key. But it was weird. It was a wild movie. But I thought about that because of, the return, and it's like I'm repeating a day over again.
I'm just saying that the last time we had a Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl, the whole world ended. So maybe your flight timing is going to be really good. Maybe you will be living that movie out in real life. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Let's try to avoid that. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block, brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Not open today. Check them out starting tomorrow at 29th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. Also got to give a big shout out to our guy Delco Dave. Came through with the tacos today. Excellent as ever. And my personal favorite thing he brings, this cactus cooler. And I don't know if you can see it with the glare. Here's the thing. If you find this cactus cooler, just know that like this has my 100 million% stamp of approval.
What kind of sugar's in it? That's just my personal, because I stopped drinking soda.
If you had to guess, 12-ounce can. How many grams of sugar?
33.
Good guess. 39.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why it tastes so good. That's why I like it.
And that's why you can drink it, because you naturally slim guys just continuously can drink and eat anything you want without having to worry about getting bloated. See, guys like me have to do extra work. Who can relate out there in YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, or Twitter land or X land? Because at the end of the day, listen, who can relate to, you got to watch what you eat the older you get. Because it gets on a brother and it's harder to get off. That's the crazy thing about it, Austin. It's easy to put on, but oh boy, how hard it is to get it off you. So yeah.
I tried so hard to gain weight in high school, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Protein, weightlifting, all that stuff. Like I promised I did that back in the day.
Straight Flacco.
Now that you can tell.
Yeah.
So anyways, plenty to get to on today's show. We'll talk a lot of college basketball. The one play that we didn't get to from Nebraska, Illinois yesterday, Strick, I think we saved for a purpose. I think it's going to be really illustrative to go through the very final play of the game for Nebraska, Illinois. Did Rink Mask make the right decision? Wrong decision? Was there a right or wrong decision before that? What could have been available to Nebraska? We'll go over that in our next segment. We'll talk some NFL. Mahomes chasing Brady. We didn't get to that yesterday. And then we will also discuss the most important players in the Super Bowl. The 3 most important players as Strick sees it and as I see it. So that'll be all in hour number 2. But Strick, let's focus on Husker basketball again this first hour. What if I told you
What if you told me?
Nebraska men's basketball is not the subject of an ESPN 30 for 30. But what if I told you Nebraska men's basketball accomplished something this year that Kansas men's basketball cannot accomplish?
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's huge. There's a lot of Fall Gallon, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk people that believe that's not possible.
But it is possible.
What was that?
Nebraska went down to Bramlage Coliseum and won. Kansas went to Bramlage Coliseum and lost.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I did see some of the highlights of that game, and they turned up. Like, they really got after it.
Mm-hmm.
Rebounding, attacking, assists. Now, here's the question I want to throw out there, Austin, to you. Is this one of those situations where a team, again, let's talk about it. A good team goes on the road and takes an L. This team is very good at home.
Just destroyed Houston. A fellow, top 5, top 10 caliber team, controlled that game all the way through at home.
That game is looking so huge for the Huskers. What the Huskers now have, I think, 3 or 4 quad 2 wins on top of the multiple quad 1s. They got a couple more opportunities, but here's the crazy thing about it, man. Again, you're looking at how tough it is in college, any sport at this point, to go on the road and win. It's not easy out there. So this team is looking like the Kansas State team is looking as if that's a great win for the Huskers. It's something that 2 top 10 teams weren't able to do that they were able to do on the road. So it's even looking better for them at this point.
Kansas State had been on a little bit of a slide. They went to Iowa State and Houston, lost those games, also lost to Oklahoma, and then a heartbreaker to Kansas State just the other day. They turn around off the heels of that 4-game losing streak, and they trip up Kansas. They needed to have that game, right? It's a rivalry game. You knew they were going to come out energetic and fired up. It was tight all the way through. I don't remember the largest lead for each team, but I think it was played within single digits pretty much the entire way. Kansas led by a bucket at the half. Kansas State tied it up at the very end of the game, and then won overtime by 5 points. But Strick, if you look at Kansas, just to illustrate just how hard it is to win on the road, even if you are a top 5 or a top 10 team, Kansas lost on a neutral site to Marquette in a game that Hunter Dickinson wasn't very good in. And then you get to conference play. They open it up with a game at home against TCU. They squeak by the Horned Frogs 83-81. Their next game, they go on the road to the bounce house, UCF, lose to a pretty average UCF team, not projected in the NCAA tournament field, by 5. They win a couple. They go to West Virginia and get in a track meet and lose it 91-85. They go to Iowa State, lose by a handful of points, and then on the road at Kansas State. So all of Kansas's losses in conference play have been on the road.
On the road. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's just it's a dynamic that we're starting to see. There was a run where we're starting to see those Cinderella. I don't know if we can call them Cinderella team, but there's something we had talked about when you first came, and even I before, is parity.
Yes.
You're starting to see more parity. And some of these guys and young players, they're starting to go elsewhere. And I think it started during COVID. During COVID, where they couldn't go to certain places because they had that extra scholarship year. And next thing you know, these programs or these fringe programs or these mid-tier programs were starting to land 4 or 5-star, top tier 3 stars with chips on their shoulders and started to get better. And you're starting probably to see the culmination of that, now, a few years later.
You look at the parity. UConn, I think, has separated itself as probably the best team in the country. They've only lost twice.
I mean, right now,
lost on the road in conference play.
Kansas is in the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
In the at a top 10 team. They're in the middle of the Big 12. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And the Big 12 has always been such a deep basketball league, and we'll get to that a little bit more here in a sec. Purdue, 21-2. Their losses are on the road at Northwestern and Nebraska. I don't think there are many losses left on Purdue's schedule, but Purdue is not invincible. No one is scared of Purdue, right, Stricky?
We've seen that. I don't know how I'm going to pick them this year, though. But I don't know if I'll have them going out this early, but they still got some things to show me and prove me. Like, even Zach Edey at his best, to me, you put a little bit of body on him, a little bit of physicality, and hound him a little bit. That little jump hook and that little thing in the middle don't work always the same. I watched that game, and Wisconsin, it didn't necessarily work. I just don't think they had the physicality to. I thought they had the depth to do it, but I just don't think they had the physicality to continue doing it. That's why you just got to tip your hat and big applause to Rick Mass, because he took it all night. A little bit. I could tell Josiah Alec really didn't want to smoke, but Rink did. He was all with it. He was with it. Yeah.
Which, for a guy that's as skilled as he is, you don't always get that mix of that toughness where he's able to, keep taking the beatings, possession in, possession out on both offense and defense, right? Guarding Danger is not an easy thing to do. Even Hawkins, meaning not the strongest guy, but physical enough that if he puts his shoulder into you as fast as he can get moving, those body blows are absolutely, going to add up. I want to stay in the Big 12 here for just a sec, Strick. The Big 12 did not grade its officials until this year. That's mind-blowing.
That's crazy, right?
How does a league get away with not grading its officials until now, especially a basketball league like the Big 12?
Because you get so spoiled, and so many guys have stayed there, been there, and then all of a sudden you get to a point where they're not being challenged. And like, I went to Big 12 camp too, and it was that reffing to me is one of a good old boy network. And it's kind of where guys with seniority, like, for example, your John Higgins or your Keith Kimball's, or guys with seniority, have great sway with commissioners. And so, sometimes a guy can be pushing a guy, or, you used to see it in the NBA where they were really pushing for former NBA Suns to get in. And when that type of nepotism begins to happen, you really start missing out on top tier talent, because you're passing them over. You're passing them over, and you're putting guys in there. And yes, there are guys. There are reasons that guys are really good and book smart guys. There's reasons to mix and mingle guys that are street smart guys. There's really to have a combination of both. You want that on a crew sometimes. Crew dynamics mean something, because it's good to have a guy that's super adept in the rule book. So if something happens that's literally crazy, he's went through that case book front and center and back, and he's went through all the details, and he's able to, you kind of get in the huddle, be like, hey, you my book guy, what's up? Then there's the guy that's that feel guy, that guy that just has a feel for the whole game and the rapport with the coaches and the players, and you like him because he's authentic, and his integrity's in place. And there's that guy. And then there's the guy that just, is just there. That's the homer that really don't have the sack to stick
coming
out.
Along.
But they push some of those guys. They push some of those people. And this is why you're seeing some of the problems that people are having in the NBA now. You're seeing it across the board. Big Ten needs to hopefully get there, because that's wise. If you're a commissioner, that's wise to do. Begin a grading process. Send guys out, have them observe, see when situations get bad or when it gets lax, because it's going to stir up problems ultimately in the end.
CBS Sports reported on the Big 12 not grading its officials after Scott Drew was ejected from Baylor's game against Iowa State. The reason he was ejected, obviously he was John at the officials, right? Don't know what he said, might have crossed the line, might not have. But the Big 12 has emphasized this, as refs across the country are supposed to have emphasized all year per the NCAA, is the coach's box. Coaches not being in the box, assistant coaches standing up, waving their arms during play. You saw in the Marquette
They call it bench
game.
decorum.
Yes, exactly. Cracking down on that. You saw Shaka Smart playing defense on Baylor Shireman, almost. They're supposed to be cracking down on that this year. Make it a simpler place, make it safer, keep coaches out of the way. Scott Drew walked his butt to half court to try to get the officials' attention. They gave him his second technical for it, and he was ejected for, I think, the first time in his Baylor career. Baylor's athletic director was not happy about it, said it was soft, it hadn't been enforced all year.
That's the problem. If there's no semblance across the board, that's a problem. If your commissioner is not having updates throughout the week, or putting out that type of information and saying, hey, We need to crack down on this. If you don't, there's going to be a problem, and you could lose games for it. Like, that's how you got to get guys going on that way. Because if one coach is getting away with it and the other's not, or if the home coach is allowed a little bit more leeway than the other, then it becomes a problem. So you're right, man. You should address that stuff off top.
Did you notice any coaches being especially animated on the bench during play in your days?
As a player, not as much. I mean, Norm Stewart and those guys, Billy Tubbs.
Shocker,
those guys
Norm Stewart.
Yeah, Billy Tubbs. Those guys would get a little animated at times. Kelvin Sampson could when he took over, but I will say, as a ref, yes. But here's the thing: there's a tool for that, right? This is why sometimes it's good to have a feel. You know it, you recognize it. Go over to the coach. Sometimes I used to put the onus on the coach. Let me break that down for you. There will be times, Austin, where a player, I maybe say I having trouble with a player on the field. I go over to the coach. I say, "Hey, listen, coach, you need to tighten him up. Either get him out of the game, have a discussion with him, because at this point, anything he does out of bounds at this point, I'm gonna hit him. I'm gonna hit him with a T." So now, okay, Strick, I got him. Okay. So now he either gets tightened up or he gets tightened up.
Tightened up or teed up.
Right? One way or the other, you're gonna get tightened up. So that was the same thing if I'm having issues with the coach. I always will go to the coach. I don't go to the assistant. I go to the coach. I say, "Coach, listen, I understand. I understand, you're trying to get, information to your players and your team. I get it. I understand that, at times the assistant's going to stand up, but make sure he gets back in his seat fairly quickly. Don't, listen, I don't want to come over here again and have to address this. I don't want to have to give you guys a T." Boom. This is like during a free throw or during a stop segment. This is when you have that discussion. And then if you don't do it,
it's on him.
I told you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's how you do it. You don't just hit them with it. You want to maybe earlier address it, deal with it. So that way you mitigate problems before they happen. So that way they don't escalate. And then it's a problem when the game is on the line or it's tight. Now you didn't added yourself into the game and you didn't have to do that. Dang, I might go back to refereeing, man.
As much as you hate it, you'll go back. We'll see.
I don't know. It's the parents nowadays, Austin.
It's always the parents.
Dealing with the parents up because they only see it from a one-track mind and a one point of view. They don't see the whole scope. If it's something to deal with his son or daughter or whatever the case, that's all they see. They don't see nothing else.
Small picture, very zoomed in. He's Strick. I'm Austin. We're breaking down the final play of Nebraska-Illinois. What were the options available to Nebraska? We'll do that, put a bow on Nebraska-Illinois, get you set up for Nebraska-Northwestern next.
Load up on meat and more this winter at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through February 6th is spend $50 and get a 14-ounce ribeye for free. Plus, buy one, get one 50% off on Mercado pasta. And don't forget about lunch on Fired Up Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Locations at 84th and Havelock and 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln or 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest, quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Husker fans, your Nebraska wrestling team is back at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for a Big Ten matchup on Sunday, February 4th against Illinois. The duel begins at 2 p.m., and the first 350 fans will receive a Nebraska wrestling pennant. For more information or to secure your tickets, visit huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111. Again, that's huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come for the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the big game at Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Wings and Rings? It's the big game party with 93.7 The Ticket at Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hey guys, Jake Sorensen here from Early Break. The garage door at our house has been needing replacement for a couple years, and a few months ago, we finally did something about it. Steve's Garage Doors and Services was great through the whole process in providing options and also going to the next level to get a door that was approved by our HOA. And best of all, the removal of the old door and installation of the new door was done smoothly with no issues. Call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today at 402-480-2840.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design. Take a computer course. Learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you, putting a bow on Nebraska, Illinois with Teach Tape Tuesday. If you want to see the play we're talking about, go to @OnTheBlock937 on Twitter. We
Subscribe.
posted, hit the follow button, subscribe, all that good stuff to stay up to date with everything you need for the show.
Thumbs up.
Oh, yeah, hit the heart button, hit the thumbs up, whatever it is that you need to do. It's free for you, helps us out a lot. We see a couple comments on the text line. We will get to those either at the end of this segment or to wrap up the hour. But Strick, we're going over the last play. Nebraska, Illinois. Nebraska down 3 with 12 seconds left. Let's just start very simply with the personnel on the floor. Keisei Tominaga, who had a career-high 31 points. Rink Mast, who had shot it well from distance. Juwan Gary, who had a double-double. And then Bryce Williams, who stepped up a little bit late but had generally struggled. And CJ Wilcher, who we know can get hot in an instant but didn't have his best game. 12 seconds left on the clock. Nebraska goes high pick and roll with Keisei Tominaga and Rink Mast. Just that part of it. Your thoughts on what Fred Hoiberg called?
Understand, two guys that have been hot. Rink had got hot second half, hit multiple threes. So it's understandable to get those two into the combination. I probably would have ran some form of weak side action, maybe with CJ Wilcher on the inside with a screen outside, and then something happening on not with two people that would normally switch, but you just want multiple actions. You don't want stagnant bodies at this point, right? So CJ maybe running off strong side to get people activated, and then maybe another screen on the other side. As you set that screen, run to the other side, get Bryce. You had plenty of time.
12 seconds.
Right? Get Bryce on the other side with a similar type of screen, and then whoever was setting the screen pop in the corner, which would be Gary possibly, because Gary might be the one they leave open. And what threes do Gary usually hit? Corner. So I would have probably did something like that. Now, that's where we are.
So the setup is Keisei Tominaga going to his right.
Screen with no action other than that.
So CJ's coming strong side. Jawan's starting to screen for him.
Okay.
At the start of that play.
Okay.
He's coming strong side. So in Keisei's vision, so they've isolated Bryce Williams in the left corner. Yep. The play is going away from that weak side corner, but Rink Mass didn't really set a screen. He kind of ghosted it. He didn't get body to free Keisei.
That's a problem.
But I wonder if that's what was called, because Rink Mast was hot. If he sets let me ask you this. Do you set a good screen to try to free Keisei up? Or are you okay with the ghost screen for a hot Rink Mast?
I'm okay for both. And it's not a bad, but I probably would have set that. And here's why. Keisei shouldn't have picked up dribble in that situation. Right? So if you get the screen, you want to come off and make them either switch, which you're okay with if you're Keisei.
Which would have been Coleman Hawkins on him.
Right, because now you can either get downhill to something or get into some action, letting some of the other guys, maybe Rink goes down and set, but you got to put body on somebody because you need to force them to switch. They're probably going to switch everything, right? There's really not much of it. This is why I think this was the best action that they had, but the issue was Terrence Shannon on the return pass. It was too close, which you understand because you don't want somebody shooting gap on you to get a steal. So it was too close. He was there. Great recovery by Shannon. The issue is in that situation, you never shot fake and go against the grain. Now, I know it was a foul.
Yeah.
But you don't go back into the guy. You go away from him.
To the open space.
Yeah. So you want to go to the open space at that point. So you if you get it, you don't have a shot. But what did Rink hit last couple of games? Step back form of three. So you rip, go step. If you're going to take this shot, you go step. You go enough to waste enough time to where the defender is going to be saying, he's got to take this shot.
And Shannon was flying out.
He was
in
flying.
recovery.
He's got to take this shot. So either he's not going to jump or he's going to fly and fly by you because your rip through and your drive away from him is creating enough space to where he's got to make an effort that his jump's not going to be able to go straight up. His jump's going to possibly fly by. So therefore, a shot fake, if he comes at you, boom, lean in, get you a three, 3-point play, or you go drive off, shot fake, he doesn't jump, now you got a flyer. So you know that's one of the only other things you got because it's not going to benefit you to drive because they're not going to come off corner for Bryce because they're saying you need three.
Yeah.
It's too late to get anything else.
Okay.
That's the only thing really you're working with at that point.
So I'm going to go back to you saying Keisei didn't need to pick up his dribble. They sent the hard double, but you saw Shannon.
No. I'm saying if they set the screen.
Oh, okay.
In that situation, you have to.
Have to pick it up and swing it?
Yeah, if they set the screen, you got one-on-one situation with Hawkins. Or was it Hawkins? Yeah, it was Hawkins.
Yeah.
You got one-on-one with Hawkins. If they switch, because they got to worry about Rink unless there's rotation, but you don't want to do that. So you got to switch. And this point, I'm getting into my mojo with a big man because a big man's going to want to challenge you, but I'm going to get into something and try to get him off balance. If not, then I got to maybe run CJ off. You still had enough time, though, because look, all that transpired, you still have 1.7 seconds. That's with Shannon getting the ball, a toss out, running out, so you had plenty of time.
So I fast-forwarded a few frames. Rink Mast was in a weird position to shoot.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to demonstrate this as best I can on stream. He opened way far up to catch the ball and then had to swing around.
Yes.
That's a tough position to get into catch and shoot mode in which case I just had to get him the ball, and here's the other thing. Rink Mast is 32 feet away from the basket.
Yeah.
That's a deep three. Not in rhythm. I don't love that shot. So I can understand why he made the decision not to shoot it.
Yeah.
But then you're saying, don't try to go back against the grain.
Yeah, you don't go back against it.
Which would be better? Rink Mast going downhill with the left hand to try to get the layup and extend the game, or do you go into like a dribble handoff with Bryce Williams in that left corner?
So here's the beautiful thing about it. You had a timeout left.
You did. Mm-hmm.
So getting two is not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Getting two at that situation, with how much time is left,
Rink has 9.5 when he catches it.
Not a problem. Downhill, listen, I can dribble from the free throw line extended or anywhere in that area full length in less than 4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Baseline to baseline in 4.
Right.
But free throw to baseline.
On a move, but from free throw, just catch and rip and go, I can still get there at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he had plenty of time from where he was. He could be at that rink, give him 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Timeout. I wouldn't call the timeout. That situation, because the clock stops.
Mm-hmm.
They got to get the ball in. Force them to call a timeout, right? You force them to call a timeout. Now they got to get it in. You almost get a freaking steal one time. You want them to try to get it in. Should have had a tie up
another time.
Cool. They get it in. Quick foul. Go back down. While they're down there, you've already set up. You've already should have some full-length play. Christian Laettner, we've seen. There's plenty of time. 4 seconds. You've got time. If they make one, miss one, if they make both, you have some form of a long distance type of play where you got maybe K-State running off, set a screen, make them switch. Now you're in full speed to a K-State pull-up. I'm okay with that for a last shot if I need 3. Other than that, you have time to throw it, half court, see what you got.
Take your chances with it.
Take your chance.
The other thing that stood out to me, too, is K-State Tominaga, once he threw that pass, he just kind of stood. He didn't have much time to go do something else, but CJ Wilcher's man did a good job of staying attached to him. I don't think Juwan Gary set the best screen, so CJ Wilcher wouldn't have been open. I almost wonder if Rink Mast, is strong with the ball and K-State goes and sets another screen for CJ. They love him rocketing around, the arc going from, as you're looking at Nebraska's hoop, going from the right corner up to the top. I almost wonder if there would have been one more screen or if there's not enough space.
For me, in that situation, you can just track back Nebraska games. What was the best 3-point shot that they've been able to get? It's a quick action with a CJ Wilcher, and that CJ acts like he's coming off. He screens for Rink, and Rink pops back.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the ones that I may run. I may run a set. Not, I'm not running a pick and roll with K-State because K-State, he's not shifty enough to be able to come off. Like if it was Jamarcus, maybe, because I know he can get off, get around the guy, get to a spot and maybe be able to do something. K-State don't really have that. So I probably wouldn't went with a screen and roll in that situation. I would have went with a set, some form of a set with multiple option threes. So run that for Rink. Rink doesn't have it. Flare screen, double flare, but guess what? Somebody's going to help on the other one. Then you got to rely on Juwan to maybe knock one down. It's going to have to be the guy that they don't expect because they're going to be trying to get to CJ. They're like, we're not letting him get a shot.
Top blocking him.
We probably ain't going to let Bryce get one either. But
well, yeah, you can see that on Bryce's guy. Bryce is all alone in that left corner. His man is face guarding him. Did not care about putting a foot in the lane for help defense.
Yeah, because they don't care about 2. That's why the 2 wouldn't have been a bad idea. A rip through
Mhm.
They're going to let you get it. If not, they're going to foul. And if you come off, I'm dropping it late. That's why that rip through probably was the best option.
Because even if,
rink mass rip through.
Yes.
Yeah.
You always have to account for the possibility, too, that given that these are college guys, they won't do what they're coached to do. Maybe if Rink drives left, someone says, oh, crap, I got to help. They're in such fundamental basketball mode.
Possible.
And then it's maybe a kick to the corner, guy flies on Juwan, then maybe it's the extra to CJ.
It could be the opposite guy, probably the opposite guy coming, because normally strong side is more apt to stay.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that guy because the trigger is weak side help.
Right.
So it's probably going to be that guy trying to come in, help out on Juwan, while Juwan's guy may come in, token, not necessarily challenge because you don't want the and one. And I said, you don't care if they score 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm like, the rip through, the drive, get the 2. You still got a timeout and see what it do.
How do you think Rink Mast handled it? Do you think he was scared of the moment, didn't want to take the shot? Do you think he was trying so hard to make the next right play? Do you think he kind of lost his cool?
Nah.
How do you judge what Rink Mast decided to do?
I don't, because he's a junior. He's still like growing in the game. You default to what you know.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to shot fake right drive. Rink isn't used to shot fake left drive. Shot fake rip through drive. So he went to what in those situations, y'all, everybody defaults to what's comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You go to what you know, what you've practiced, what you've been, what you've done, what you've done in the past. And that's all he did. He went through shot fake, rip through right, and it just was back into the defense. Foul, nonetheless, but still, somebody with no sacks not going to call that.
Nebraska would
I would have called it from the lead.
Oh, yeah.
Because guess who's probably got the best look at that?
Lead guy.
Lead ref. It's going to be a tough call. Where the ball was at, where it came from, Trail was probably that side. Lead maybe was coming over to help. Center was going to step up because when you got a trap, you want to step up to get eyes on whether or not they put their hands on, whatnot. So the lead probably was coming over. He had probably a good look up through there. He's not going to call it possibly because, that's out of my primary coverage area. That's what they're going to say. Oh, that's not me. But you're supposed to be looking at, as a lead referee, you're supposed to be looking up through the defense.
Here's the position of the refs at the moment of the foul.
Yeah, but he's coming over. You can see it. Oh, he stayed.
Yeah. There's one guy
so
standing behind the play. There's one on the close sideline, and there's one underneath the baseline.
There's no one in an angle to see it. That's the problem. So yeah, you're stuck with what you got. Unfortunately, it just no one was in a good position to have an eye on the fact that Terrence Shannon came through the guy's forearm. It's just unfortunate.
That would have put Nebraska at the free throw line with 8.9 to 8.5 seconds on the clock, shooting 1-1. Nebraska was money at the free throw line all night. Ends up 14 for 14. Let's say that Rink Mast goes to the free throw line. He hits the first free throw. There's 8.5 seconds left. Is that enough time for you to still want to press on the inbound, try to get a quick steal, or do you intentionally miss the second one, try to get the offensive rebound tap in?
Plenty of time.
Okay.
Like I said, you in 4 seconds, doggone Keisei Tamanaga in 1.7 got a shot off. Wasn't too far off.
True.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He got a shot off. They missed. But here's the problem. They called the timeout at the wrong time. You preserved the timeout. They called the timeout during the free throw. I would have waited because guess what? You rebound, timeout. Quick rebound, timeout. Now you've got a full court play. You got the timeout. You don't have to do a case get it, try to dribble out, and try to shoot it real quick. You
Through a lot of traffic.
Yeah, you don't have to. So the timeout, I would have not called the time. I understood why he did it because he probably tried to set something up. But the issue is, what if he misses? See, that's a forward thinking process.
Mm-hmm.
I don't call a timeout in that situation because I'm saying, look, if he misses, I want a chance. 1.7, we saw what Christian Laettner was able to do.
Mm-hmm.
He caught it, wiggle, 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 shimmy, shimmy, booyah, turn, and bang. right? With 1-some seconds on the clock. 1-some seconds, you got a chance to catch that thing, get in the shot fake, up, one time and bow. You could do it quite a bit in 1.7 seconds.
If you say 1.7 seconds, it sounds like the blink of an eye. But in basketball terms, how long is 1.7 seconds?
1.7 because they don't start the clock until touch. So you've got a chance anywhere from 30 foot to 30 foot. You can catch that ball and be able to get a pretty good shot off. We saw what Eric Piatkowski did in crunch time. Hadn't probably shot a basketball in multiple years. 3 opportunities makes a shot. These guys do that all the time. They practice. Sometimes they'll do half-court shots to get out of practice.
Right.
Oh, okay. It's been 45 minutes. Y'all make this half-court shot. We done. We've done that before. I'm sure they play games like that, get out of practice early. They do that stuff. So anywhere from 30 to 30 with a chance to take a dribble or two, I'm taking my chances.
Nebraska, unfortunately, does not get that good shot off on their design play. They lose to Illinois 87-84. Next up for the Huskers, late night tip-off, 8 o'clock Central against Northwestern tomorrow in Evanston. He's Strick. I'm Austin. That was Teach Tape Tuesday, breaking down that final play. When we get back, we'll take your texts, a couple questions we want to get to on the text line to wrap up hour 1 of the show here in just a sec.
No matter what indoor or outdoor project is on your list, check it off at the Nebraska Builders Home and Garden Show, February 9th through the 11th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Visit with vendors experienced in handling all your dream projects. Spend time viewing displays and exhibits to see the latest in home innovations. Admission is $10 or bring a non-perishable item for the food bank and get a $2 discount. Children 12 and under are free. For more information, visit the Home and Garden Show online at hbal.org.
We wait all pro football season for the big game. But will you come out on top? Warhorse Festival of Games is putting you at the center of the action with 2 chances to win big. Earn entries for our $100,000 prop card challenge daily at Warhorse Casino Lincoln. Enjoy slots, sports wagering, and horse racing. Then make your picks about the big game to be eligible to win. Qualifying entries will also be put in the running for your share of the $20,000 grand prize drawing. Increase your luck for the drawing by playing free online games on the Festival of Games website. Skip the trip to Vegas and get in on the big game right here at Lincoln's favorite place to play. And if that's not enough, our $1 million bracket challenge for college basketball is coming soon. Full details are online at warhorsecasino.com. Warhorse Casino Lincoln, just minutes from downtown at Highway 77 and West Denton Road. Why not today? Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread's Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread's Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started. What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh, yeah. This is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Adecco Employment Service in Lincoln is saluting the men and women in uniform who are standing tall for our freedom. Let's remember them by continuing to donate blood for our returning injured military. Be a silent hero and give blood today. It could save the life of a soldier. This special reminder is courtesy of Adecco Employment Service in Lincoln. For all your employment opportunities and services, give them a call at 467-5050. That's Adecco Employment Service at 467-5050.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. But we are also out in Las Vegas. We have our own Jake Sorensen standing by on stream. Jake, it is all you, my friend.
All right, guys. Thanks for sending it back out. We are live at Super Bowl Radio Row. Our coverage sponsored by Roofing Service Company, High Electric, Tavern 180, and Tanner's in Lincoln and Omaha. We are joined here on Radio Row by Andrew Sendejo, who is good to see you. A 12-year NFL vet, but you moved on to a new time in your life. What are you promoting here today for?
Yeah, so at the end of my career, I launched Braintree Nutrition as a brain health supplement company focused on enhancing and preserving your cognitive function. So we do everything from focus, memory, stress and anxiety, sleep. And then what we got right here is our brain water electrolytes with some ingredients for focus. And so just after years of prolonged head trauma on myself and my peers, just wanted to create a line of products that were filled with ingredients backed by clinical human studies, proven to be effective. And so, yeah, we're at the forefront of degenerative brain disease. We donate a portion of our proceeds to Alzheimer's research, and really just trying to give people the tools they need to feel better, to improve their mood, their focus, their energy, really just kind of live overall better life.
Okay, so you said 12 years in the NFL. You did this after your career was over. At what point in your career did you think you might be looking at something like this after you were done playing?
So while I was playing, there weren't any products like this out there that were, safe and transparent. Obviously in the NFL, we get drug tested. So needed to ensure that there was a product that didn't have any banned substances in it. And the NFL is also very strict on their ADHD medication. So we basically needed to create a natural Adderall in a sense that helped with the focus and the memory. There's a huge mental part of football. You have to memorize the whole playbook. You got to memorize the other team's plays. And then every week you got to wipe it out and memorize a whole new team, all their strategy. And so wanted to create like a natural product for that. And so we kind of just started addressing these different areas of brain health. And obviously as football, you get super stressed out. Sleep is a huge portion of mental health and physical health and really all health. And so just are continuing to create products that we see there's a need for to help people out. So, and that was one of the big ones of this one was we just saw that people were drinking a bunch of sugar packs and different things like that. So basically take your liquid IV that's full of sugar and put it on steroids and take out all the sugar and make it taste even better. And that's what you got here. So take this in the morning, feel better, focus, energize, hydrated. It's perfect for Vegas. Like if you're out here in Vegas, especially you guys out here talking all day on Radio Row, might have a couple cocktails at night.
Very possible. It's happened so far.
Very possible. Traveling, working out, all those things. It helps with all that.
So I'm curious again. We're joined by the way, by Andrew Sendejo, former 12-year NFL vet, now with Braintree Nutrition. You got Brain Water, the electrolytes. You can see the packets right here. How do people find these, by the way?
Yeah, so you can just go to our website. It's braintreenutrition.com. We have a 35% off sale, free shipping, money back guarantee. Every purchase, we donate a portion of our proceeds to Alzheimer's. And so, you can go check us out at braintreenutrition.com.
Okay. Again, we got Jay Foreman sitting down with us. Again, Jay has been chatting with he's been fraternizing with some people over here.
It wasn't fratting. I was setting up some interviews. Another safety to safety, Solomon Wilcox. To the former Viking safety.
That's
over
right.
here.
Andrew Sendejo has been telling us about Braintree Nutrition. Again, they got the Brain Water packets.
We got you some samples over here if you want to try one.
Oh yeah.
Now, we've been having people try them live on the air, but I had one guy. This one
Does
guy.
it make us smarter?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Well then I need it. Then I need
we
double
have
back.
It'll help your focus. If you're underslept, it'll help your focus. It helps with task switching and task residue.
Right.
So basically trying to just create like these natural products to help you with focus so we can get people off the Adderall, off the prescription drugs. Those just create a huge dependency. They're highly addictive. They change some of the neurochemicals in the brain to where you become dependent on it. So I'm just trying to help people out, man.
Andrew, I wanted to ask you, I know it's an electrolyte folks in hydration. Talk about how much I guess hydration is kind of overlooked as far as concussions and your brain function, because I think everybody just looks at the big hits, right? Like, oh, you're asleep. But if you're not hydrated or dehydrated, there's a higher percentage of possibly having a brain injury or brain injury through contact.
Yeah, so 75% of people are walking around dehydrated, and so that kind of creates a cascade of negative effects. It affects your mood. It affects your brain function. It affects your skin health. It affects all types of bodily functions. And it's just like you said, it's just overlooked.
Right.
And it's just an easy way to kind of improve in another area. So that's why we're kind of addressing those areas in different products. So our pill products we have ingredients in there that help with the focus, the memory, the neuroprotective aspect. And then along with this, so we can kind of stack all these together to kind of basically optimize your brain, your brain function, and really kind of have you like clicking on all cylinders, nice and sharp. Even for me, after 12 years, my very last play of my NFL career just got completely knocked out, and a lot of memory issues, a lot of brain fog. And so have been basically kind of able to restore a lot of that by using these ingredients and these products. And so it's been beneficial for me. I'm a customer of my own product. I give it to my mom, my dad, sister, friends and family. So we just wanted to make a quality product to help people out.
Well, I have poured it into the bottle of water, Jay. I'm gonna do a little sample here.
Which flavor did you do?
I did the
cucumber lime. Yeah,
right.
Look,
It's gotta be delicious.
Jake hasn't played a lick of football, but he definitely needs it as much as possible. But Andrew, I think for me playing
refreshing
9 years and you 12, I think people don't understand the amount of. I always say the concussions that they don't see are the ones that have a long-term effect, because those maybe are the ones that you keep playing through.
You're right.
And the ones that don't, I guess, get the TV game to stop and stuff like that.
Right.
And so talk about that, because I think, obviously concussions has just kind of came to the forefront in the last, let's say, decade. But I think the different types and the ones that me and you know about, right? The ones that we've kept close to our vest in our I would say in our back pocket. Talk about those, and then also talk about how your brain water will help athletes in the future, because a lot of our listeners are college athletes, pro athletes, and also have kids coming up in youth and high school sports as well.
I think you nailed it right there by saying, the ones that don't stop the game are the ones that are kind of the most dangerous because you play through them.
Right.
And part of being in the NFL and playing for a long time is you have to be available, and you can't be available if you're hurt. And if you're always getting hurt, you'll eventually not be on a team anymore. And I think just as a player, since we were young, we've always been taught to kind of fight through, battle through any type of injury. And so, there is more attention on it now. I think guys are starting to realize that if they're not feeling well, and I was told guys too, I was like, look, if you're not feeling well, you're not all there, you should take yourself out of the game because you're going to hurt us. Like you're going to give up a touchdown. You're going to have a missed assignment. You're going to hurt us.
Yeah.
At that point you're being selfish by staying in the game because you want to be available or you want to play more. You don't want to lose your starting job because someone's going to come in. But that's just how the evolution of the NFL works. Like new guys are going to come in and take your spot at some point.
No matter what.
It's a certainty. And so, that's why we formulated the products the way we did to have ingredients to help with some of the neuroprotective benefits, to help with the focus, to help with the memory issues, kind of on a natural level. Like I said, things that are not, prescription drugs that are, Schedule II drugs that are highly addictive.
Let's pause quickly 10 seconds for station ID here, live from Radio Row in Vegas.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, we're live at Super Bowl Radio Row here at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. Jay Foreman, Jake Sorensen, joined by Andrew Sendejo, 12-year NFL vet was with the Vikings. He's played against both the Chiefs and Niners in your NFL career. The two opponents here on Sunday, but again, he's promoting Brain Tree Nutrition, Brain Water. I've tried the packet of cucumber lime. Yeah. Tastes very good.
Sugar-free.
Sugar-free.
Yeah.
It's important.
It's a huge deal because sugar is a poison. Not a lot of people realize that. It'll affect your cognitive function, causes inflammation. It's people should start looking at sugar as a poison, like an alcohol. You don't give your kid alcohol. You shouldn't give them sugar either. It's something that's it's an ingredient that's everywhere. It's almost hard to avoid at a certain point. So that's why we, formulated it the way we did to get rid of some of that.
How many packets do you take in a day typically? So I got one bottle here, poured one packet.
I usually take two. So what happens is people, they wake up first thing in the morning and you're like, shoot, I'm tired. Like they go straight to caffeine or straight to an energy drink, and you've gone all night without drinking any water. And so really the first thing you should do is hydrate and like kind of prime your body, and not with just water, but with electrolytes. So then we took it to the next step, and not just electrolytes, but we added ingredients for focus, for physical endurance, for mood elevation, productivity, brain fog, all those things. So for me, this is the first thing I take in the morning, throw it in my water bottle or my shaker, mix it up. And then I take our brain enhancer pills, first thing in the morning, and then I can kind of have my sustained energy and focus, no dips. And then after that, you can have your cup of coffee or whatnot. And so, trying to get people to understand, like, if you actually want to have energy all day long, don't start with the caffeine source. You should really start by kind of priming your brain and body for the day. And that's where these come in.
All right. He is, again, Andrew Sendejo. He's a former NFL veteran. He is got Brain Tree Nutrition. Check it out at braintreenutrition.com.
Yep. You can find us on socials at Take Braintree. Give us a follow. Go check us out.
All right. Appreciate the time, and good luck the rest of the week.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Good stuff. Well, we'll send it back to Austin and Strick on the block here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies expected tonight. We should be able to avoid the fog. We'll see a very mild night, a low down to around 44. A high tomorrow approaching 60, but south winds could gust over 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, a low of 47 and a chance of scattered showers. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Think you need a new furnace due to a cracked heat exchanger? Call Bryant for a free second opinion. Might save you thousands, no matter what brand. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. We do whatever it takes.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Rain, snow, or shine, John Henry's is here to keep your home's plumbing systems working properly no matter what kind of weather Nebraska throws at us. From unclogging toilets and drains to installing new water heaters and water treatment systems, John Henry's is your plumbing expert in the Lincoln and Omaha communities. Visit us at calljh.com or call
John Henry's.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
It's fishing season. Bad actors are trolling your business emails, luring you and your employees to take the bait and steal your private information. Make sure your cybersecurity keeps your business from being the catch of the day. At Hamilton, cybersecurity is our business. We are experts at keeping your network and business information secure and off the hook. Contact Hamilton for a vulnerability assessment today. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
At Allo, we believe in the exceptional. From extraordinary whole home coverage to super fast speeds, our local teams are always on hand to make sure your service is running at top performance. Let go of lag, banish buffering, and enjoy outstanding service throughout your entire home. We believe in delivering nothing less than exceptional service, so that's exactly what we do. Visit us at allofiber.com to experience the exceptional.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at nebraskaautodetail.com.
Why are New Year's resolutions always about getting to the gym more or dieting? We fail ourselves before the first month of the year is already over. Why not resolve to eat better, tastier foods in 2024? Look no further than Fuhrer's cheese spread. Stop eating your apples, vegetables, crackers, and chips plain. Give them some flavor. Fuhrer's cheese spread awakens your taste buds. Now that's how you start a new year. Find your container of Fuhrer's cheese spread today at your local grocery store.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
We're back here in Lincoln. Big thanks to Jake and Jay for pulling Andrew Sendejo, NFL safety of a dozen years, on to promote Braintree Nutrition. Jake and Jay are out in Las Vegas on Radio Row. Standing by whenever they pull a guest, we will pop over to them, give them the floor, and then we will be back with you here. I'm Austin Norman, joined by Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland, as always.
Let's get it.
Stricky, a couple things to wrap up on Nebraska men's basketball. First of all, I think we touched on it, but in case people missed it, I think it bears repeating. Brad Underwood's technical foul in the first half. I think that was a very savvy coaching
strategic move. Very savvy. I mean, that's the thing about coaching that just can't miss is they have tools too.
Mm-hmm.
And not only you have to be able to do that with the referees, you have to figure out how to do that also, Austin, with your team. There's a way of coaching your team collectively. And then individually, you have to understand what motivates, what moves, how to push buttons to get the most out of each individual player. So there's a lot of nuance. This is why I think coaching is tough. Coaching isn't easy. I think it used to be so simplified. And Wu-Tang Clan had a song called "Can It Be That It Was Oh So Simple Then?" like that's how it used to be. You used to just go out, man, throw the ball out, put together some things, throw a team out there together, and let it work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then you know how to kind of mix and mingle. You know, there's some things you need to implement at times or whatever, strategy at times.
Mm-hmm.
But now you got NIL, you got all these different things. You've got to recruit, not just the ones that used to just be able to recruit your guys. They're on your campus, and you know, maybe you need to talk to them if they're kind of frustrated and you deal with it. But now you got to re-recruit. You got them, you got parents, you've got all kinds of stuff. You got, what is it called? RPI, not RPIs, but something that deals with academics where you have to have their academic rate to a certain level. APR. You got all that stuff. It's a lot, man. I don't wish it on the worst of people, but that's part of the game. I mean, that's probably why they're paid so much too.
I'm sure that's a big part of it. Two-pronged question for you as it relates to this Nebraska team. We'll start with the buttons that Fred Hoiberg can push on the sideline. How do you grade Fred Hoiberg in terms of his coaching job this year and play calling, rotation management, handling referees? How's Fred Hoiberg done this year in your estimation?
I think he's done a tremendous job. I mean, one of the things, he's so mild-mannered that, I mean, listen, Fred is mild-mannered, but he's not. Like, don't get it twisted. Fred can mix it up with some of the best of them, you know, and he's a tremendous competitor. He just, you know, he handles himself in a certain way. I mean, as he said in his presser, the team was playing soft and like tissue paper, and he went in and ripped them up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that shows you that he has that capability, but he just doesn't always put it on display. I think he uses it at moments. I can see his body language. There's times where he gets into the refs a little bit, maybe not to the extent that Brad Underwood did. There's times when you need a technical. Usually you want to get it early, as Brad Underwood did. You want to set the tone and how the game hopefully will go in your favor.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the refs will buy into that. Just depends. I think as a coach, you probably want to know. I remember when I was coaching, we would want to know what referees was going to be at the game, and we had an understanding of certain referees that we could push. Some we kind of got to back off on. Some that are watching the others. You know, guys that ain't really in the mix of the discussion, but they're the ones that want to be in the mix of the discussion. You got to know who they are too.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't overdo something, because they'll come from way over there and like, wait, man, you weren't even in this conversation. You know, you got to know all that stuff, man. And so it's one of those things.
Then in terms of the team success, right? Nebraska's been better these last 2 years than his first three. Do you think that's Fred Hoiberg and his coaching staff, you know, pushing more of those right buttons, finding what motivates players? Is it better team construction, the combination of it?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of team construction. I think it's coming up with an identity. Once you have an identity, then recruiting towards that. Let's just be honest. Let me give you an example. Iowa has an identity.
Mm-hmm.
Football.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa has an identity. Their football team does. They're stuck in it. They're stuck in the defensive mind frame of it. You just can't win the big ones. You got to, you know, shift that to the offensive side of things. Maybe that's why they hadn't overly recruited at the quarterback position, and they've normally relied on running game, defense. That's what's been their identity. Running
and
game
special teams. Punting.
And special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Running game, defense, special teams. That's been their identity. That's what they've recruited to. That's what they were bringing in. And Nebraska's kind of figured out their identity now. Now they're going to have extra time, but guess what you got to do? You got to re-recruit. You got to re-recruit the guys that are already on campus.
Mm-hmm.
You want to keep them together, not unless there's something else that you see coming down the pipeline. But you want them to play a certain way, a certain style, then you execute that in your practice and in the way that you go about doing your business.
The other thing then is from Earthquake Glue. You sent this about an hour ago. You've continued to stay active on the text line. We appreciate it. We're talking about Nebraska and Illinois, and he says, and yet the Huskers don't even have one single vote for the top 25. Okay, so?
Say that again?
Earthquake Glue is upset that Nebraska didn't get a top 25 vote this week. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm
Stay
going to
under
be
the
honest.
radar. I'd much rather they don't. Go ahead.
Right.
You
I'm
be
going to be honest. I don't think that Nebraska has a top 25 resume right now.
Mm.
If you're going to be a top 25 team, think about it in terms of the NCAA tournament. It's not exactly how it works out. I get it. But the top 25 teams gets you through the 6 seeds and 1 7 seed is where you're at. Nebraska is maybe a 7 seed in some NCAA tournament projections. More often, they're a 9 or a 10 trending toward 11, which would tell you Nebraska is anywhere from 36 to 44 in that range. And I think that's fair. Nebraska can play like a top 10 team on any given night at Pinnacle Bank Arena. We've also seen the bottom drop off. So taking the totality of it all, looking at other teams across the country that started out faster, that had a little bit more buzz by beating a big name opponent, it's not shocking that Nebraska's not ranked right now. Had they beat Illinois, I would have guessed they would have jumped into the fringe of that conversation. But just make the NCAA tournament. Who cares about the top 25 right now?
I agree with you. And here's the other part of that, just to add on what you said, because I think you hit the nail on the head. But here's the thing, another to add on. They popped in there before. And guess what? It was part of the letdown.
Yep.
So the writers are like, oh, they're one-offs. Cool. Think of me that way. Just let me keep doing my work. I want to be trending upwards at the end of the time of when you're making decisions, as opposed to in this now time, because let me prove it to you. And I think that's a good place to be. Oh, they don't believe in you. Well, you got to make them believe in you. I mean, like if you're a coach, right?
Yeah.
If you're a coach and you have players that are asking the question, hey man, dang, what do we got to do? Well, what you got to do is be consistent. Like coaches can have that. Like I would even use it. Like I would use it as fodder. Like if it was me, I'd go into a film session and I'll be like, you guys had a great week. You played your ass off and beat a top, team in the country. Then you went back to back. You did better than you did last time. You went into Illinois. I thought you should have got it. But no one believes in you. Yeah, you maybe even looking. You probably looked at the standings, and you said, "Dang, why can't we get a nod?" Well, that no one believes in you. Prove it to them. That's some fodder I would use. Prove it to me and prove it to them that you belong.
Don't wait for them to just happen to scan over your name and vote for you. Make it impossible to miss. Highlighter, bold, italic, underline, all that stuff.
There it is. That's the way I feel about it. I would use it. I would use it as straight fodder. I mean, because I've told you this story before, Austin. That's what we used in Boston. We had 2 great players in Paul Pierce, young player, Antoine Walker, and a bunch of guys that nobody believed in. And they said we were going to be one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. Boy, oh boy. Really? Bunch of guys with chips on their shoulder? Really? A lot of rookies. Joe Johnson, Kedrick Brown, Joe Forte. You probably hate him.
I do. It's true. I respect him, but I just like him.
A bunch of young guys, bunch of, veterans. No one believes in. We had the second best record in the Eastern Conference that year. And it wasn't the Eastern Conference during that period. It wasn't the LeBron Eastern Conference. It was, hey, look, we went into LA, got them a couple times. Like we weren't
not messing around.
We weren't playing around.
No.
You didn't want to play us. So yeah, that was it, man. That make them feel that way. Use it as fodder.
We were going to talk some NFL. We can do that in our next segment. But while we're on Nebraska basketball, I had this thought over the weekend or yesterday, Strick, and I want to throw it your way. We talked about Nebraska's upcoming schedule. And then the clip we posted today from yesterday's show, you said Illinois wasn't a test to get up for, right? It's a top 25, top 15 team on the road. Even same with Northwestern, who should have your attention given that they played you close at home. But it's the Northwestern game and then the 7 after that are going to be the test.
Yeah.
on the one hand, I'm sure there are plenty of Nebraska basketball fans who've seen it come crumbling down before, who are jaded, who are scared, like, okay, who's going to trip us up? The flip side of that is Fred Hoiberg's teams are typically really solid, in February and March. Big Ten tournament notwithstanding, right? That's been a whole different monster that not many Husker coaches have cracked. But I think back to even 2 years ago, Nebraska won its final 3 games of the regular season on the road with Bryce McGowan's out. At Penn State by 23, at a top 25 Ohio State team by 8, and then a comeback at Wisconsin, who was ranked number 10 at the time. You think about last year, Nebraska goes on that 4-game losing streak after Gary and Bandamel go down. Strick, they only lose twice more in the regular season, at Michigan and then Michigan State, who they led at halftime. Now, you go into February, in the early part of March, with an incredibly favorable schedule. I hope that the trend of Nebraska playing its best basketball going into the Big Ten tournament continues, because the last few years, it seemed like that's been Fred Hoiberg's team's calling card.
I mean, that has been a trend. But it's going to be, the test is going to be similar to what possibly could happen to a Kansas outside of the fact that they're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're the big boy in the pond. And then you realize that, hey, I'm fighting for my life too. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think teams, like, there was a time when you used to be kind of had some apprehension or a little fear.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are afraid of, they play so much AAU ball these times. And, because there would be times where you didn't get to see some of the best in the country, like let me give you an example. Playing in high school, we go out to, no one believes in us, right? We have a small team, not really a center, maybe one guy 6'10", rest of the guys 6'8", but we're fundamentally sound.
Mm-hmm.
And we just will go out to Vegas and beat the brakes off people. Then we end up playing Jason Kidd's team. So you're just hearing number one player in the, because it's not AAU back then. We weren't playing. You didn't get to see these guys until you knew you were going to Vegas.
Mm.
That opened the door for me, because when I go to try out for the Mavericks, I'm not scared of Jason Kidd. All you guys in the league and all these other cats are worried about Jason Kidd. Man, bump Jason Kidd. That's how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I went in there at him and almost got in a fight sometime, because he's like, man, chill out. No, man, bump you. I know who you are.
What you're about.
I don't care. Yeah. And got a job. Buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm telling you, man. It's like, these kids, I don't think today are scared. They're not afraid of Kansas. They're not afraid of North Carolina.
Mm-mm.
You know what I'm saying? It used to be.
Mm-hmm.
When Jerry Stackhouse and Rasheed Wallace and those guys showed up, Vince, they showed you like, oh gosh, man, I don't know. Hopefully we can. You know what I'm saying? These guys are like, man, boy, who? Now, I mean, real talk.
Yeah, I think there's a couple reasons for that. I think the biggest reason that you've pointed out astutely is the fact that they see these guys.
Yeah.
Right? The more you're exposed
tournaments.
to it, the less you're going to,
Peach Jams.
Yeah.
Adidas national tournament.
EYBL, whatever it is.
EYBL, yeah.
But also, I think some of the mystique is gone from not only like these top players, but also these top teams because of social media.
Mm-hmm.
There's constant exposure. You see it constantly. So you're not as rattled by it. There's not that aura, that mystique of, oh my gosh, I've heard this guy is so good. Oh my goodness, this is going to be the toughest place to play I've ever been in my life.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much more exposure now that you can cut through so much of that aura and that mystique, which is where when a team doesn't show up in a big game against a top 25, top 15 team, you're almost more surprised.
Yeah. Why do you look, Nebraska AAU programs, they compete on a national level. You see some of the younger programs, they win in national tournaments. They win in regional tournaments. They, used to be, they'd go up in Minnesota, would do some work on them. Or Iowa, the all Iowa attack. Used to be scared of them, the Barnstormers,
Yeah.
You used to be scared of them a little bit. They had national prominence in some ways. Yeah, but doggone, they don't care now. These young Nebraska players going out there getting after people. You know what I'm saying? On a national scale. Some of them are getting national recognition by the shoe companies. Some sponsored by Adidas now. I don't know if we have an EYBL team in Nebraska yet, but I know they got some Adidas teams. Got a few Under Armour teams. But yeah, that's how it is.
He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block on 93.7 The Ticket. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll dive into Super Bowl week. We heard from Jake and Jay with Andrew Sendejo out there on Media Row. At the bottom of the 2 o'clock hour, bled into the top of this hour. When we get back, we'll talk some Super Bowl. Maybe Jay will chime in. Maybe he won't. He looks like he's a busy guy right now. But we will talk about Patrick Mahomes' legacy, what a win in the Super Bowl would do, and maybe who our most important players are in this upcoming Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the 49ers. Don't go anywhere. More On the Block here on 93.7. The Ticket comes your way momentarily.
The Omaha Supernovas are back in action this Wednesday, February 7th versus the Vegas Thrill at the CHI Health Center in Omaha. The Mullen Motors pregame show with Derek Pearson and Renee Saunders starts at 6 p.m. with first serve at 7. Make sure to tune in to the next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show right after the match ends. Catch all the action on your flagship station, 93.7 The Ticket, and statewide on the Supernovas Radio Network.
Liberty Law Group is committed to the pursuit of justice for those that have been injured. My name is Eric Hagan, attorney with Liberty Law Group. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, call 877-42-LIBERTY. Our detail-oriented trial attorneys are committed to the highest quality legal representation. At Liberty Law Group, we will fight for you. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Once again, that's 877-42-LIBERTY.
Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in the winter, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep your clubs out year-round. Book a bay with some friends for a weekend or come by for golf and happy hour on a weekday. Spring leagues begin in February. Get signed up today. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex at West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
If you want all the latest technologies from those big banks, but you also want that hometown feel when you walk in the front doors, choose Midwest Bank. They have top-notch technology. They make banking so easy, and they also have the friendliest staff who will take their time to get to know you and treat you like family. You get the best of both worlds when you choose Midwest Bank. I live on the go, and now I can bank on the go. With Midwest Bank, I have everything I need at my fingertips. I'm volleyball player Allie Batenhorst, and at Midwest Bank, you'll love banking here.
Garage doors can be expensive. Are you keeping yours in the best condition possible? This is Cameron Hall with Doors Plus. Doors Plus is a locally owned business that prides itself on the fast, reliable, and friendly service. Doors Plus offers flexible scheduling so you can book an appointment that fits your busy day. My team and I will come out to your property, both commercial and residential, and provide you with the necessary information you need to make sure your garage door is in working and smooth condition. Give Doors Plus a call today at 402-590-5800 to book an appointment and learn more about our preventative maintenance plans. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you or a loved one are struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
You're spending $300 a month. Binge drinking is the most common form of excessive drinking, which costs the United States more than $191 billion each year. By drinking less, you will save $300 a month. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
No matter what indoor or outdoor project is on your list, check it off at the Nebraska Builders Home and Garden Show, February 9th through the 11th at Sandhills Global Event Center in Lincoln. Visit with vendors experienced in handling all your dream projects. Spend time viewing displays and exhibits to see the latest in home innovations. Admission is $10 or bring a non-perishable item for the food bank and get a $2 discount. Children 12 and under are free. For more information, visit the Home and Garden Show online at hbal.org.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. We have Stars tickets to give away for this Friday at home. Lincoln, the Stars of the Icebox, hosting the Des Moines Buccaneers. We got 2 questions for 2 tickets each. First respondent in on the text line with the correct answer to these questions gets 2 tickets each to the Stars. Question number 1. Who did Nebraska men's basketball defeat in the championship game of the 1996 NIT? Who did Nebraska men's basketball defeat in the championship game of the 1996 NIT? The second question, who led Nebraska in scoring in the championship game? The 1996 NIT championship game. Get those answers in on the text line again, 402-464-5685. Thanks to our friends at Sartor Heeman Jewelers for sponsoring not only our text line, but also the video streams, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We have a number of guesses in already. It was not St. John's. It was not Arkansas. It was not UNLV. And Jerron Boone was not the leading scorer. So again, who did Nebraska beat in the 1996 NIT championship game? And who was the Huskers' leading scorer? Give you some time to get those responses in here. Okay, 007. 2 tickets are yours. And Drew in Lincoln, 2 tickets are yours. Stricky, do you remember the answers to those questions?
Yeah.
Okay, who'd you beat?
We beat St. Joseph's.
You beat St. Joseph's.
Out of Philly.
You did.
And
in the Garden.
In the Garden. And Stricky was the leading scorer of that final game.
That he was.
Yeah.
1 of 4 Huskers in double figures. Led him with 13.
Yeah. It was a balanced evening. It wasn't a lot of scoring, a lot of defense, but it was a balanced evening. We got it done, though.
Do you remember the final score?
It was like, I want to say 67 to 63, maybe?
Close. 60 to 56.
Okay. I knew it was like 4.
Defense first.
I knew it was like 4.
I know you've said your teams really like to run.
Yeah.
Was that different? Were you guys getting into that slugfest?
No, it was because I think we had ran it up a lot in some of the earlier games.
Scored 90 on Tulane just the game before.
Yeah. And it was just one of those things, man. Just came right back after it, and you knew it was a big game. It was a big night. We just wanted to fight it out. However, we was going to try to win the game. We just wanted to win it. Yeah, so it was tough.
That you did. So again, Drew in Lincoln and 007. You both get a pair of Stars tickets. Way to be on the ball. Let's turn our attention to the NFL here briefly, Strick. Patrick Mahomes, not the greatest of all time yet. He's got some work to do, obviously, in passing a number of guys before he gets to probably the gold standard of Tom Brady. Let's say that Patrick Mahomes gets his 3rd Super Bowl ring on Sunday. What does that do for his legacy? How much does that help him in the GOAT debate?
All right, so this is a multi-pronged discussion. I'm going to break it down. And a lot of people are saying, wait, hold on a minute. It's a long way. But at the same time, you had to look back and watch the trending of Tom Brady and the ascendance of him in the debate of passing up your John Elways and your Joe Montanas.
Steve Young,
you know
Johnny
what I mean?
Unitas's, yeah.
How, the ascension of that, how it started, how you even started considering. The consideration part of it is understandable. Here's why. You look at Tom Brady and the fact that he won 3 Super Bowls in his first 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
You're already like, you weren't starting the debate on it, but you're looking at him like, wait a minute, we got something here. And I think that's where you're, with social media, as you said, with some of the things now that goes on in the promotion and how you're able to view things, you can look at it from a different lens now. And so when you look at Patrick Mahomes, they match up in a sense, right? This is what starts and this is what fuels the debate. This is what starts the conversation in the GOAT conversation, because Tom Brady is the standard now. But then you look at Mahomes and he's on the verge of it in the first 6 years. 3 potentially. I personally don't think they get it, but you still can have the conversation about his ascension. So here's another one. A lot of people did the same thing with Tiger Woods.
Chasing the bear?
Chasing Jack Nicklaus, the bear, right? Tiger Woods won 8 majors in his first 6 years as a professional, from 1996 to 2002.
And just for reference, that's 1 out of every 3 majors the Tiger won.
No doubt.
That's insane.
On the verge of almost having, I think he was on the verge of almost having the sombrero twice at least that I can remember, right? Jack, that was from his stretch was 96 to 2000. That's 1 more than Jack Nicklaus in his first 6 years, from 61 to 67. So everybody that starts the debate, similar to what we've got going on now with Patrick Mahomes. But here's something else. Tiger Woods had some issues, some problems, some things happened in his life. Involved wife, involved golf clubs. Yeah, you understand? So there were some things that were surrounding he lost his dad. So a lot of stuff happened. But then when you look at Patrick Mahomes, this is the question. Are any of these issues going to affect him now that they're starting to happen around him? We know that his dad was just hit with a 3rd DUI. Wife sometimes can be a problem. Couple kids were now born. Brother was an issue. That's heavy weight on somebody, right? That's carrying a torch.
Not just trying to carry a franchise, but trying to carry a family name.
And the league.
Yeah.
So those are some things to think about, right? Now, one more discussion as a starter. This is one's going to blow you away. Patrick Mahomes is 72-22 in regular season. That's crazy. 14-3 in the playoffs, 4 AFC titles, 2 Super Bowls, on the verge of another one. There again, where 2 years now, no one expected him to be there, so he's on the verge of another one. He has 258 TDs, 69 interceptions, and a passer rating of 103.7, 104. Crazy. Watch this. This is what's going to blow you. Tom Brady, over that same span, 70-24 regular season wins, 12-2 in the playoffs during that stretch,
with 1 fewer round,
right? 3 AFC titles, 3 Super Bowls, but only 167 TDs, 287 INTs. That's, like almost 16 more?
Yeah.
and an 88.4 quarterback rating. So you can understand putting your eyes on it, you kind of saying and asking the question, we're not there yet. Still a lot of football. The times have changed. The salary cap issues, the balloon payments on the quarterbacks, tough to keep people around. You could do it a little bit easier, a little bit ways to navigate that just by simply saying, I'm going to take a little bit less money. It's a little bit more creative there. So that's the issue that you have when you look back. Tiger is still stuck at 15 majors, 3 less. Are we going to have the same thing happen with Mahomes? Got a lot more time to go as far as to make it happen, but is it possible?
Do you think Tiger gets another one?
I don't think Tiger gets another one.
I'm with you on that. It's much
maybe
more like
one at the most. It's so much more hard.
Would it have to be the Masters? Would it have to be another Masters?
No, I don't think it has to be a Masters, but I think at best he could have a one-off and just go nuts for a 4-day stretch and maybe win one more. I don't think he won mental. I think he's grooming his son. And as a father, I think a lot of you guys that have sons, and even my dad who was an all-conference player in both football and basketball, had me in high school right before he goes to college, and gets to a point where he wants more for his son than what he accomplished, and was able to do that. All 3 in 3 sports, played professional in 2 sports, but that was him. That was him kind of, nudging me, pushing me for more greater, right? I think that's what Tiger's doing with his son. I think that's what he's doing. I think this is why he's got Charlie similar to what Tiger's dad did for him. Tiger's dad just wasn't able to kind of have the access just because of the times and the way golf was at the time. And that is neither here nor there, but he wanted more for his son, which his son was able to eclipse him in anything that he was able to do. Earl, R.I.P. to Earl. But now Charlie's going to have even more opportunity to do so. And does he take the same track? I don't know. Does he go professional earlier? Who's to say? But we'll see.
On Mahomes, a couple follow-ups I have for you. First of all, which is more likely, that Mahomes wins 0 more Super Bowls or that he wins 2 more Super Bowls?
I think Mahomes will probably win a couple more. I don't think he eclipses Tom Brady, but I think he'll win a couple more.
What does he have to do statistically then to pass Tom Brady for the greatest of all time? Or if he doesn't catch him in Super Bowls, is there no chance he catches him in the greatest of all time?
When you look at Tom Brady's overall numbers, and I might have noted them.
Does he have to beat him by 5,000 passing yards and 20 touchdowns? Is that enough to make up for Super Bowl?
Then you're getting into the same territory that you had with LeBron James
and Mike.
And Mike, right? I think that's kind of
Jay's boy, LeBron. So since Jay's on the stream, I know he can hear us. Jay's boy, LeBron.
Yeah, his boy. But here's the thing. Brady's regular season passing yardage numbers, 80. So he would basically have to play dang near to his 40s to catch it. I don't think he catches it unless he does that. But you're talking 89,214 yards. That means he would have to average. You ready? For the next 13 years, he would have to average 4,700 yards. Woo. Just to catch Tom.
Who didn't come up in an offense-first era like Mahomes is in.
Or in an open passing era to the extent.
Right.
Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. So he would have to do that. He would also have to so Brady now has a regular season touchdown pass number of 649. Mahomes, just at the current average that he is right now, 36.5, he would have to do that for the next 12 years. 36 TDs.
That's a lot.
So if you're talking about the big numbers, that's what he's going to have to do. That's a lot. Right? His 251 regular season wins. Mahomes would have to average 12 wins per season as a starter. Up to 40s, up to dang near his 40s.
Which they've done so far, but you saw how much of a struggle it was for them this year.
There you go. Those are just some of the numbers just to answer your question.
It's all fascinating. He has an outside shot at it. And I think at the end of the day, what's most likely to happen is Mahomes will kind of fall into the Aaron Rodgers territory. Well, he'll be a step above Rodgers because of more Super Bowl wins, but more in he was probably more physically talented than Tom Brady, but Brady probably had the best combination of traits and now the Super Bowls on top of that. I love the Tiger comparison that you made there with how fast they won. I'm going to make one other comparison before final wrap-up point. Mike Trout. I thought Mike Trout was on pace to be the greatest baseball player of all time. Like, no disrespect in the slightest to Hank Aaron, to Willie Mays, to Babe Ruth, any of the other greats you want to throw in there. But what Mike Trout did, looking like a middle linebacker at 6'4", 240, playing center field, the power speed combination, the batting average, the walks, just how feared he was. Mike Trout is probably still my favorite baseball player, even though he's not a Royal. But even I right now can't make the argument that Mike Trout's the greatest baseball player of all time. He's a lot closer to the Bo Jackson territory where injuries have really sapped him. The lack of postseason success, right? The Angels made the playoffs one time with Mike Trout. Got swept by, those guys. 2014 AL pennant winning Kansas City Royals. So as much as I love Mike Trout, I don't think he can fall into the greatest of all time conversation. One of the greatest what ifs, if the Angels built a better team around him conversation. It's the family pitfall for Mahomes that I think really stands out to me. He's going to get injured at some point. It happens to every football player. Brady had to miss his year. I think Brady's impact on the game and how quarterback rules changed will help Mahomes play longer with how they're protecting the quarterbacks. Mahomes has taken some weird hits at weird angles, and like the dislocated kneecap he had against Jacksonville, he came back 2 weeks later and played on. He's pretty resilient, but every player has an injury at some point. It's going to happen for Mahomes. But between the situation with his dad, his wife is involved in the women's soccer league, and I'm not sure where she's at mentally. And then even his younger brother, right? Like, that's not on Patrick Mahomes at all. He's not his brother's keeper, but it reflects on him. So if you add those family pressures, keep him in the news cycle for stuff he doesn't want to be on top of the pressure of trying to maintain a spot as the best player in National Football League, on top of Andy Reid isn't going to coach forever, so he'll have to break in a new coach at some point. I think it's going to be more of those external factors that limit Patrick Mahomes' case to be the greatest of all time compared to even like the lack of receivers he had this year.
Well, hence, I think the importance of getting someone he's familiar, comfortable with back in the mix, and that would be possibly re-signing Eric Bieniemy to keep that thing stable, right? Because, like for example, you see one great right now that has lost his ability to move the needle as far as the decision-making process. And you know who I'm talking about? Your boy.
My boy.
LeBron James.
Jay's boy. My boy. Our boy.
Yeah, because he's trying to do that right now. You see the little antics that a lot of people aren't going for these days that they used to. You saw Cleveland cave and you saw Miami bow. And now the Lakers are being called into question because I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. I'm not gonna hurt Jay too bad. LeBron James right now is looking. He wants DeJounte Murray, right? That's a lot of what he wants. But the Lakers are not going for it.
No,
the upper management staff, Genie, all of them, they're not going for it. So what does LeBron do? He says, I want to play with Bronny. I want DeJounte. Or, they asking him questions about whether or not he's going to opt in and all that. No, I don't know. Then he goes to New York. And in his interview, his post-game interview, he's wearing a New York towel. He walks in with blue and orange type shoes with his New York colors.
Mentioned that the Garden was his favorite arena to play in.
You see what I'm saying? So he's pulling all his leverage moves that a lot of people aren't going for. And if I'm the Lakers, I stand my ground. Okay, bounce. That's what I would do. Actually, I would trade him. That would be probably the best thing I could do, is at least get something hopefully for him. But they say, rumor has it out there, that the the powers that be are looking for the right suitor to make a move, potentially. So he could be traded.
We'll definitely talk more about that tomorrow. Trade deadline for the NBA is on Thursday. We'll give you a full NBA trade deadline primer tomorrow.
Another thing they tried to pull before we get out of here. Tried to pull sitting out for the Boston game, trying to basically say you can't beat the best of the NBA without me, and probably talked AD into it.
Right.
And guess what happens?
They win.
They freaking go out there and win.
On the parquet floor of the TD Garden.
That part. Against their best with their second tier guys.
Yeah.
Beat them.
The NBA. Yep. Wild. I want to address this really quickly before we get to break. Magnum PI says, what are you talking about? Trout is way closer to the GOAT conversation than Bo Jackson conversation. Bad example. Okay. I didn't think in the moment. Thanks for calling me on that. Mike Trout is probably closer to Sandy Koufax, is what I would say. Short run of elite dominating brilliance, injuries ultimately derailed it. I'm not writing Mike Trout off yet. He's still mid-prime, getting to the later prime. So yes, Mike Trout is much closer to the GOAT debate than the Bo Jackson debate. That was a bad comparison on my part. Let me rephrase and say Mike Trout right now strikes me as the Sandy Koufax of hitters without the World Series success to show for it. Hopefully that's better for you, Magnum PI. I appreciate you throwing that out there. When we get back, we'll give a Super Bowl square away to wrap up the show. We'll be at Buffalo Wings and Rings for the big game on Sunday. We'll have a trivia question for a Super Bowl square to wrap up the show next.
Husker fans,
it's your last chance to catch your top-ranked Nebraska wrestling team in action at the Bob Devaney Sports Center as they host a top 15 conference matchup on Friday, February 9th against number 13 Michigan. It's their annual Pepsi Pack the House duel, and all tickets and 24-ounce Pepsi products are just $1. The duel starts at 6 p.m. Get your tickets today by visiting huskers.com/tickets or call 402-472-3111.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Are you in the market for a new garage door or need to repair your old one? It's wintertime, and that means snow, wind, and freezing temperatures, all things that can cause sticky locks and damage to your garage door. If you're experiencing any issues with your commercial or residential garage door during the winter months, call Cameron Hall and his team at Doors Plus. Don't be trapped outside in the cold because of a poorly maintained garage door. Call Doors Plus today at 402-590-5800 or visit them online at doorsplusllc.com. Doors Plus, garage doors and more.
Stop asking your friends if they're hosting a party this Sunday and come for the real party instead. Join 93.7 The Ticket for the big game at Wings and Rings at 68th and O this Sunday and walk away with great prizes just for showing up. Why worry about making a great spread of food for the game at your house when you can enjoy all the great wings and more at Wings and Rings? It's the big game party with 93.7 The Ticket at Wings and Rings this Sunday at 68th and O.
If your home isn't delivering the year-round comfort you expect, call the experts at Bryant. Warm and cool, comfort and confidence. Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Call 467-1111.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Partly to mostly cloudy skies expected tonight. We should be able to avoid the fog. We'll see a very mild night, a low down to around 44. A high tomorrow approaching 60, but south winds could gust over 40 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, a low of 47 and a chance of scattered showers. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back one final time here during On the Block. This is going to be a quick segment. We'll get you out to Radio Row in Las Vegas. Jake Sorensen, Jay Foreman standing by for Old School. DP and I will hold the fort down back here as well. We're going to give away 2 Super Bowl squares here. So the trivia question are this. 1 Super Bowl square to the first texter who correctly names the Kansas City Chiefs' first Super Bowl MVP. A second Super Bowl square to the first texter, 402-464-5685, to name the 49ers' first Super Bowl MVP. All right, Magnum PI is in with the Chiefs answer. Len Dawson, Magnum PI, send us your name and your phone number. We will get your name marked down. So we're still looking for the 49ers' first ever Super Bowl MVP. 0778 is on it. Send in your name, 0778, with your name and your phone number, and we will get you marked down for a Super Bowl square. Easy peasy.
Love it.
Look
Easy
at that.
peasy. Look, before we get out of here, I just want to throw something. Take a look at the rankings real quick, and I just want your opinion.
The men's basketball rankings?
Men's basketball rankings, right? When you go up and down the rankings, to you, give me your 3 big surprises of guys that are in there right now.
3 big surprises of teams that are in there right now. I would say Alabama's gotten hot, but they've been good. South Carolina's come out of nowhere.
That's out of nowhere.
South Carolina has been really good on the defensive end of things. I would say I'm a little surprised by Florida Atlantic still being in there. I think they're where they should be, though, in the 20s. So let me go with Dayton. Kind of out of nowhere, out of the A-10. Deron Holmes is a problem. He is an excellent player.
There you go.
BYU's the other one. I know there's some Mountain West flavor at the bottom, but BYU, what Mark Pope has done, I didn't think they were going to be anything special this year. So I'm impressed by them in the Big 12 finding a way to sit at 16-5 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, impressed with Iowa State.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they would be this good in the Big 12. Go ahead.
So the Iowa State connection to Nebraska here, besides Fred Hoiberg, is their stud freshman, Milan Mamilovic, former teammates with Nebraska signee Nick Janowski.
He went nuts.
45 burger.
He went nuts in his last game, Pewaukee, out of Pewaukee. A surprise on the downslide for me, and it's not really a surprise because he gets way too much credit, is Kentucky. You would think they would be better. Impressed with Marquette, continuously just kind of rising above the fray in the Big East. I thought they would be to the top tier of the Big East, but not, one of the best teams out of the Big East. I wouldn't have 1 or 2. I wouldn't have had that. And I would say the emergence of, they always kind of find their way in there, but doggone San Diego State just seems to freaking creep in somehow. And then they'll go in the tournament and make noise. They don't always be super great, but what you think about Utah State? What the freak?
Utah State's fun.
Yeah.
Utah State is good. They were in it last year. Weren't able to make as much noise as I thought they were going to, but Utah State's a solid program.
Yeah.
They've had coaches poached kind of left and right. If you were on stream, you saw Jake and Jay pop in for just a second.
Yeah.
We will get out of their hair.
Yeah.
It's been a good show. We covered a lot of ground, a lot of Husker basketball talk. If you missed any of it, especially Teach Tape Tuesday, breaking down that last play from Nebraska, Illinois, go back and check that out. We talked some Patrick Mahomes. We talked some Nebraska not in the top 25 for men's basketball. Big game tomorrow against Northwestern. We'll be back to talk about that one, preview it a little bit tomorrow, as well as an NBA trade deadline primer. You heard Strick tease the Lakers wanting DeJounte Murray. Are they able to make it happen? What will it take to get that done? We'll dive into that. Ooh, yeah, I think that's probably fair. And assets, which the Lakers don't have many of. For Strick, I'm Austin. Don't go anywhere. Jake and Jay standing by on Radio Row. You'll hear DP and I pop in just a little bit. In the words of the great Erick Strickland, we'll see you mañana.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.